Hi, welcome to The World According to Rich. You know, the last couple of interviews we focused on promoting, marketing, building an audience on YouTube, but I don't want to forget about community. So today I'm talking to another member of that class of 2006, those early vloggers who really pioneered the use of YouTube as a social network. Today it's KenRG on the Vlogger Interviews. Ken, you are speaking to me from wonderful Santa Cruz. And now you're one of the, I think Andy Moosman called it the class of 2006.
Yeah, the class of '06, yep.
So tell me about how you discovered what was then almost completely unknown, the art of vlogging.
2006, I was blogging regularly, you know, the old typewritten blogs here, you know, and I was looking for some video to go with a blog post I had written. And I forgot what the story was at the time. It may have been Hurricane Katrina. So I was looking for some video, and so this new thing YouTube found. I knew I'd find some video that I was looking for there, and so I had signed up for a membership just because. For the heck of it, really. And then I, searching around for other things to watch, and I came across this weird little man named Renetto. And, I think people might be familiar with him. I thought, well, hey, if he can do this, just sitting in front of a camera and talking to a camera and sharing it, I can certainly give that a try. So I think it was end of August or beginning of September 2006 when I did my first vlogs.
What is the appeal? What was the appeal back then before you hooked up with everybody? I mean, and how did that community develop?
Okay, I think one of the most brilliant things that YouTube did in the early days that helped develop the community and the art of vlogging, because they go together, is the video response. And that's one thing which frustrates me now. And thinking about this earlier today, knowing you were going to call, and kind of what's happened to community for those of us who think that there's a difference between now and 2006. One thing is now the video responses are a little bit more buried on the video play page. They're not as obvious and prominent as they once were. And I think that was what helped build the community, was the video response was the most brilliant thing they did, because it enabled conversation. And in these vlogger interviews you've been doing, I noticed that there's so much focus on vlogging and community aspects, and others which focus on the content aspect. And not that there isn't overlap, that good content can't build community, but I think now there's more of a focus on I'm creating content. And before we were focusing on I'm participating in conversation. Creating good content wasn't our number one primary aim, and this is before the partnership program. So there was no need for anything to do with numbers. It didn't matter if you had 1,000 people, if you had 10, 20 people who were not just watching your videos, but conversing. Like you do a video, I do a video in response to that, then Bob does a video, and we're participating in conversation. It was social media before Facebook really took off. We thought, Facebook at the time was, if we were on it at all, it was a little nicer than MySpace, but still just another Friendster copy off that we thought was just a fad. This was where conversation took place, was on YouTube. The video response was the most brilliant thing, and linked replies on comments. Not just that you could comment, but that I can comment on your comment. So they did these two technical aspects were what caused us to have conversation, and then that conversation is what built the community long before there was anyone thought that, hey, if I build enough of an audience and create good enough content, I'm going to make some money and this and that. That's really where it started. And that was the magic of getting on in 2006, when there was a limited universe of us vlogging back and forth for each other, and the technical aspects not only did the technical not matter, the technical was going to be garbage, because now I don't even know what the size limit is on a video I can upload, but it's massive. What is it, 1 gig, 2 gigs? At the time, back then it was,
I think it's unlimited.
Yeah, bigger than that now. I don't even know what the maximum is. Back then we were very aware that 100 megabytes was what we had. If you made a video that was 120, it would not upload. You had to either be short. You could do high quality stuff that was very short, or you could talk forever, but make your file so small that it was grainy, and but it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Well, it seems that I mean, everybody's talking. They're all talking about. Everyone's talking about the tricks of the trade of building an audience. It's almost as if the quality of the content sometimes takes a back seat, and it's all sometimes forgotten. And
yeah. Well, again, there's what's your primary focus? Is your primary focus building an audience, and if so, for what? Simply because for your own ego, or because you're a partner and you think you're going to make money, or is your primary focus creating good content? Being a creative artist or whatever, however you view it, or is it participating in conversation? In the fall of 2006, conversation was it, because you couldn't do much else, and that's. That affinity that those of us who were doing it back then have for each other, and that our friendships have largely moved away from YouTube. But I still see a lot of those guys from 2006 when we travel and visit each other and went on road trips and all that. And that's it was a magical era. And I don't know, not to say you kids these days don't know what, but it was different. It was different.
The choices of social media now, where you can interact, has spread out. So you're not just interacting here when, like you said, when Facebook was early, in its early stages, and Twitter didn't exist.
Right.
This was a prime.
Conversations are different places, and again, I mentioned video response, and that the conversations on the YouTube video play page were what built the community. But now, even if I'm loading something to YouTube, half my audience is watching it on Facebook, and they're leaving their comments there. A lot of the people are watching on a mobile device, and they're either not able to leave a comment at all. But it's not. We're not all watching on the same. We're not looking at the same page in the same manner, and that's also kind of broken up the conversation.
But also, having said all that, it's also a lot of the people who are successful on YouTube are successful because of engagement, which is the other side of it. That people who want to feel like they're part of a community, even if it's a community of 1 million viewers for this one vlogger, they want to feel like they're engaged with that person. It seems to me that there is a community. But it's like New York City, and has a lot of little neighborhoods. It's not a small town that it may have begun as, at one point. So, I think maybe it's evolved in that way. I mean, your community is still alive.
Yeah, and a lot of things. What happened? I don't know the year, but a lot of community moved to different sites, and that's the thing. Is one time YouTube was the only game in town, and now there's multiple from other larger sites like Vimeo to a lot of the smaller boutique vlogging sites like Vloggerheads, which I had a minuscule part in getting off the ground, where it is the old school conversational vlogging and very much about the community. And if you're not a part of the community, you're nothing. So there's places to go where, if that's the people for whom that's the most important aspect, there's places where they can go. And I mean, I too many to list, that you can find those boutique communities. So
community really is beyond now. In those days, community may have been about YouTube, but now it's real sort of online community. It means 1,000 different things.
Absolutely.
So, where do you see, having seen this almost from the beginning, where do you think YouTube is going to evolve in the next couple of years?
We can improve the technical aspect of what we do, but it hasn't changed the base of what the vlogging, what the person-to-person stuff is. That just hasn't changed. And people have tried just like Twitter is to blogging, the micro-blogging. There have been several attempts at micro-vlogging. One of my favorites was 12 seconds. It was great when it started up. You were limited to 12 seconds. You could, you had to be quick. It's unfortunately now gone, but now there's Tout, which has massively improved on the 12 seconds concept by giving you 14 seconds. But it's the same. But all these things come up and go away. Again, too many to list. But it get back to, well, no, you can't improve on what we're doing right now, which is talking to each other and storing it on this site for others to listen, watch, and then respond to take part in the conversation. And hopefully that's what I've really enjoyed about the series that you've been doing so far, is that I think this will hopefully has helped to spark new conversation and thinking about vlogging as community again, and not just as I'm building my audience because now I'm in the partnership program. And yes, I'm a partner, and I get my I can buy a large soda every now and again with what I earn.
Anyway, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Damn, I was going to ramble on for another half hour.
Well, we'll have another chance, I'm sure. Thanks for the interview, Ken. Make sure you check him out at KenRG on YouTube. I'm having a great time with these interviews. I want to thank everybody for your support, for your comments, for your subscriptions, and I think I can continue doing this interview with 1,000 vloggers without getting bored. So thanks for everything you're doing and helping me get the word out there. I will see you next time.